Yo, what's up, guys? King Jerome here, Firehouse Heavyweights TV. Today, we're going to react to some workplace accidents. If you work in construction, if you work in a factory, if you work in a warehouse type of environment, we're going to react to some videos and I'm going to walk through this and, and talk about what I would do if I was in this situation. So maybe you would have the opportunity to help someone, a friend. Most likely, this might be a friend of yours, a coworker, or something like that until paramedics arrive to try to get this person to the hospital. Before we get started, I'm still using my backdrop over here. We're still in the process of moving. Um, and once we move, I'll have my full setup over there. So I did try to react to this video before. Last time I put something up was about, I want to say maybe Tuesday. Come to find out, there was no audio. So for whatever reason, my microphone wasn't working the right way. It was all plugged and everything like that. But for whatever reason, things just weren't working out in my favor in that case. So without further ado, let's get started on this video. If you enjoy this type of content, make sure you like and make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you hit the bell notification, because what I've been doing lately now, I'm just going live most of the time. So if you hit that notification bell, you'll get notified whenever I'm getting ready to go live. That way, you guys have the opportunity to ask me questions or anything like that in real time if you'd like to. All right, let's get into this. First video up. All right. Cycling firm has been fined. Alley Trade Limited. Oh, dude, that's pretty scary. So this thing is running while he's in there. Let me know. Would you guys be able to hop out? Like, would you be able to pull yourself up already from that distance if, say, all that recycling stuff already went in, and for you not to get caught up in the little blades, I'm sure that there's at the bottom to kind of sift through it all and push it all up in there? Would you be able to pull yourself out of there? I I probably wouldn't. Maybe. Maybe I would. I don't know. I think the biggest thing here, and the fact that they're doing this, is because of complacency. And complacency, man, happens in every single career, in every single job that exists on the face of the earth. Complacency is literally everywhere. And I just want to make sure that I have some sound going on right here, real quick. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. Just checking on my settings. Yep, okay, my microphone's good. Perfect. All right, let's continue watching this. Mm-mm. Oh, that's risky. That is risky. Hopefully, in the situation, they did a lockout tagout thing so it can't accidentally turn on them while they're excuse me, while they're in. Oh, dude. Excuse me, guys. Just choked on some popcorn. But yeah, how everybody here is just standing around and just watching. That definitely tells me they've been doing this for so long and nothing has ever happened. You know, that now that it did, now it becomes, a very big deal. The MD. I'm not sure what that is. Field to challenge him. Maybe that means something like uh, safety coordinator or something of the sorts. Damn. He was found a few minutes later. Ugh, that's terrible. That is terrible. My thing is though, as terrible as this is, you know, you can't completely blame uh, the bosses right here. You can't completely blame them, but you can because they got complacent. But the thing is, this likely has never happened, and this has been probably an ongoing process that people have always done. That's just how people have always done things.
Tonight, colleagues are telling me at least one of those injured workers was placed on a ventilator and is in very serious condition. Meanwhile, OSHA confirms they are investigating what caused this terrible accident. A horrific scene at a Briggle construction site. One worker's leg painfully trapped as others try to free him. Down below, another man yelling out after steel rods suddenly came crashing down onto them Wednesday.
Over there,
a bundle of rebar
and down there
that was being transported from the...
So I don't know if you guys seen that. The guy at the top, the cage or whatever it was, impaled his leg. So he's literally pinned at the top of that ledge with those huge metal bars going through his leg. And the guy down at the bottom just got just got annihilated with it. It's not funny, but it's terrible. A big thing that we have concerns with in the medical field, I would say, not necessarily here with an impaled patient. I mean, it could happen with them too, but it happens a lot with crush injuries. Say, for example, and I should probably make a video of this sometime, like do like a mechanics version. But say a mechanic is under a car and he has it jacked up, and the jacks fail, and the car pins him right under, right? So say it's not crushing any bones or anything like that, or say it did, but it's not necessarily killing him yet. So there's enough force, there's enough weight that it's stopping blood flow from circulating down, right? So while blood moves around through the body, when we inhale, we bring in oxygen. I'm sure many of you guys already know this. We blow out carbon dioxide. What happens when there's a lot of carbon dioxide in our blood? Our blood becomes acidic, right? It becomes acidic, and it's no good for the body, and that's why it's a waste product, and we blow it off. Now, what happens if too much acidity builds up in your blood? It can start messing with the electrical conduction of your heart. So pretty much, the heart has its own pacemaker, right? And high levels of acidity in the blood will start to mess with that perfect balance of the type of chemicals that make the heart beat. So whenever they release that, it's going to be a giant rush of all this super acidic blood that a lot of times is going to completely mess up a person. And that's what happens with dialysis patients. That's why they got to go get dialysis all the time, because their body's not able to properly filter out that acidity, I would say, from their blood. And if it's not done in a certain amount of time, usually on average they go maybe twice, 3 times a week. If you go to an actual place, if that's not done, a lot of times there's gonna be a whole lot of other problems. And when we go there as paramedics, we already know like 2 of the main medications we're gonna have to be paying attention to is things like sodium bicarb and calcium, to kind of reverse the effects of that. All right. Anyway, enough of me on my soapbox. Let's continue this video.
Ground level onto a higher level where the construction was taking place had a malfunction.
Let me know if you guys can hear this all okay.
Is now the subject of an investigation. We're told a crane was moving that rebar into place when it suddenly came loose, falling onto and hurting 6 workers below. The company working on the project, Civic Construction, saying in a statement on social media, a steel cage came loose as it was being flown by the tower crane.
It trapped 3 of them, and 1 was able to self-extricate. The other two construction workers were
Can you
actually
imagine
impaled
getting one
within
of
the
those
rebar.
The
right through
bars
you?
pierced two men in the torso. They were still conscious when
I could
crews were
not.
able to get them out and rush them to Ryder Trauma Center. The workers had been on
Man,
site since 8 a.m. Wednesday, building a new office
that's
tower in
terrible.
Brickell Plaza. Work at the site now halted as investigators
That is
try to
terrible.
learn what went wrong.
Being in that much pain, but you gotta wait. Okay, here's another one. Oh, I see someone down at the bottom right in a red shirt who looks knocked out. Yeah, right there. What? Oh, so maybe someone fell off. Looks like two people. Maybe those were two people who fell off somehow. See, in a situation like that, like these guys are doing great, especially the environment that you're in, because even as paramedics, it takes such a long time to get there. And yeah, people want things to be textbook. Same thing when it comes to safety, same thing when it comes to many other industries. But sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do to get people to safety. And that's what it looks like that they're doing here. You know, they're doing what they gotta do. The door may not be fully secure. It may not be fully secure, but they're holding on to the dude's pants like, nah, we gotta hold on to you. We gotta get you out of here. So that's really awesome on them, man, because this is a situation depending on how much traffic there is, size of the city, and the distance to a hospital that can handle a fall from this distance. This may require a helicopter even to come show up. All right, what we got here? I wonder what kind of plant this is. He's cleaning something out. Oh, dude, what? Dude, oh, he's spraying it out, so he's cleaning it with something. Doesn't look like his body's all the way in front of it. It looks like it's just mostly his arm and his face. Dude. Oh, he landed way over there. So this to me, I automatically will start assuming major burns, man. Major burns, blunt force trauma. That's a lot already. That's a lot. You definitely would probably need a helicopter. Most of the so I keep saying the helicopter, but again, this all depends where you live, because riding on the ambulance may just be quicker than waiting for the helicopter, like the 30 minutes it'll probably take for them to get in, to fly to whatever location it is, then to land and find a good place for them to land. I've noticed that most of those rescue helicopters prefer to land at a hospital or at an airport. So if like you take them to your nearest hospital, and then the helicopter comes, picks them up from the hospital, and takes them to something like a level one or at least a level two trauma center to take care of something like this, because that was really rough. That was really really rough. Oh no, wrong button. Almost ended the stream here. Yeah, let's continue on. Yeah, that's terrible. Mixing chemicals, it looks like, or refilling something. Ah, dude. That's dangerous, dude. So, and this goes back again to my whole conversation I was having about complacency. You know, he's probably done this so long, and so often, and nothing ever happens. That now that he goes and tries to, it looked like a little bit spilled out, and he tried to go clean it up real quick before it started any major problems. Um, and that just it could have been the introduction, because mixing that probably is no problem. Maybe it was the introduction of something that he tried to wipe it with. Maybe that material, maybe the the chemical or whatever liquid that is just reacted with it, or it could have just been pure chance. You know, I don't know what happened there, but I hope the guy's all right, for real.
Yeah, Joel, maybe you should step out for a minute.
Until that thing settles in.
Yeah, get out.
Good mornings.
Well,
Yeah, bro, maybe you should get out of here.
Get him out! What the fuck?
Get out, get out, get out.
Shut down inboard! Shut down inboard!
Wow. I want to pause it right there and say that's really awesome that they're trying to work on him right away. You know, that's really great. But from the sounds of it and from the looks of it, it's a good chance that could be steam. Maybe that could be something that's harmless. But if that's steam, man, that's a very high likelihood of a lot of burns, that they probably have from that. Let's continue to see what's going on here.
Hey guys, come on! Hey! Get back! Come on, get back! Come on, let's go, guys! What?
Yeah.
I know, but get him back!
And that for sure could have been something harmless. That gas that's coming out is probably harmless, but it goes back to my whole conversation I was having about complacency. Like you're so used to um, working around certain types of gases, like they're probably used to working in this type of environment. That they're not expecting some super crazy uh, chemical thing to come and absolutely destroy them. You know what I mean? Um, yeah. So let's continue with this. But that's really awesome, though. They were there right away to go help him.
Yeah, I've got a steam explosion
Yeah,
at the
there
Town
we
Medical
go.
Center on the construction site
He's getting
by
up.
RSC building. Okay, hey, take a seat. Take a seat.
He's getting up. Perfect. That's awesome. Oh, dude, what? That right there is crazy. Wow. All right, watch out. Oh, dude, that's a good bottom.
Holy crap.
One guy fell. He got him quick, though. Oh, my God. Sheesh. That's way too dangerous, man. But that's probably never happened. I think the theme going on today so far is complacency. Guys, I'm not saying I'm perfect. Like, oh, damn. You guys just seen that fireball? Hold on. There was a fireball that came out towards the screen. Oh, dude. Hopefully it's alright. What? There is no way that guy survived that. There is no way that that guy even survived that. Like, just to even think of that happening, man, like, wow. That's just terrible. That's literally terrible. Can you imagine like you're doing that? I assume that had to be a water main just because of the force that it pulled him. So something that reminds me of that in firefighting, say you go you're in there's a couple ways to ventilate, I would say, a room, right? Depending how your commander or the chief that is in charge of the entire operation wants you to do it. One way is called hydraulic ventilation. Pretty much what that is, say we're in a small room, small closet or something like that, and this is where the fire is, and you have a window or you have a door or something, where people aren't coming in and stuff, and you want to get some of this heat out, you would say punch a hole through the window or open it or whatever. You would spray through the window, just spraying through the window. And what happens is the force of the water coming out will start to create like a vortex of wind and will start to pull out a lot of this heat. The only problem though with that is because how hot the room is and using water, it does turn into water vapor and it instantly increases the humidity in the room. Like it feels like someone just laid a blanket on top of you. But um, that is one way to cool a room down, even though that's completely unrelated to this video. The only reason I even brought it up is just how the wind that it can the force, I guess I would say, the strength of the wind that it can create from rushing water. Yeah. All right. Off your soapbox, King. Let people watch this video. All right. Let's see what's going on with this guy. Oh, dude. Oh my god. Bro. Slumped. Dude is slumped over. Dude, I think in factories, that's why a lot of times, they don't let you wear loose clothing, jewelry, and stuff like that, so you can't get sucked into a machine like that. But I don't think that's really what happened here. I think what ended up happening, he was holding on to something while he was reaching over to go press that button. I assume that maybe it's not supposed to function that way. Maybe he was trying to, I don't know, trying to MacGyver it, and something, because there should be no reason if you're meant to, if it's designed for you to do work like that, it should not be that far of a reach for you to go hit that button, because how would you reach the emergency button or anything like that? So I'm going to assume that's not how that's supposed to happen. Maybe he's supposed to load the paper or whatever that was first, then go hit the button from a safe location. Maybe that machine just wasn't working right, and he just needed it to catch. And instead of catching the wool or the paper or whatever that is, it caught him. And as you can see, man, he's just knocked out. I do hope he's fine. He probably hit his head pretty hard. Maybe some broken legs, just the speed that he hit, but that's a little tough to watch. Dude, watch out. Wow. Wow, dude. Wow. Wow. Oh, I know that hurt. Oh, that crushed everything. That absolutely crushed everything. Wow. Well, that was that video. Let's cut the reaction. You know, I want to talk about something that could really help out with this, and I'll probably put a description to it in the link below. And I don't have the picture of it that I want to show you guys. Give me 1 second to see if I can find it here. Hmm. But pretty much, what would really help anybody who works in this industry or in construction or literally any job, especially where you're working with machinery and stuff like that, something that would be very, very beneficial to have is something like a tourniquet. A tourniquet, what it does, um, you wrap it on a limb. You can only put it on limbs, and the goal of it is to cut off circulation to that area. So, for example, if you ended up cutting your arm or your bicep with a chainsaw, and it's just bleeding out, it's just squirting out blood, you put that tourniquet as high as you can, and you twist it off, and it's gonna hurt. But once you twist that thing off, it's gonna stop the bleeding, and that way, that person, that victim, is not gonna bleed out right there on the ground. And once they get to the hospital, you know, they could probably see some kind of surgeon, maybe like a vascular surgeon or something like that, that can repair those arteries and those veins together in order for them to survive, do a blood transfusion and things like that. But I would say that would be my number one thing. I wish I could find the little picture here, but make sure you guys go check it out on Amazon or something like that. Get yourself a tourniquet. It'd be very nice to have one because you just never know. Usually pretty easy to apply on, um, and things like that. So I also have a short and free ebook for you if you guys want to go ahead and grab that. And pretty much what it is, it's called Emergency Medical Tips for Everyday People. And what I talk about in this ebook, the first two chapters are free. And pretty much what it talks about is how you can react and what you can do to help a victim of a seizure or stroke, how you can help them get through it, and how you can help paramedics who are on the way to go treat and take that patient to the hospital. For example, with a stroke, right? Of course, it's a very scary thing. Very scary thing. The number one, actually, the two top things that if I'm coming to a stroke, and most paramedics and even doctors and stuff are wondering the same questions. When we get to the patient, we want to know when's the last time that they felt normal, because there is a window that we try to go for. It's usually about 90 minutes from the time of the symptoms starting to having them in surgery to get a clot out. If it is a what we call an ischemic stroke, which is actually blocking a vessel in the brain, as opposed to a hemorrhagic, which it's pretty much a popped blood vessel in the brain. Either way, there is a time frame that we want to go for. So, for example, most agencies around the United States and even around the world, from the time you get dispatched to the time this person is in your ambulance and you're going as fast as you can to the hospital, 10 minutes tops. So the things we're looking for is the last time they felt normal. And then the second one is their blood sugar. Why a blood sugar, you ask? Well, with blood sugars, um, if you have a low blood sugar, whether you're diabetic or not, if you have a low blood sugar, in my experience, I've seen people react one of three ways usually. There's probably more or less. Um, I've seen people, and I'll probably give four reasons here because now they're just popping into my head. I've seen people with low blood sugars have seizures. People with low blood sugars become super violent and have like superhuman strength to the point where it takes about 10 to 12 police officers to stop the person and try to. Well, it's not going to take 10 to 12 because it's not going to be possible for that many people to be around them. But it's probably going to take at least maybe 4 or 5. Um, or they'll just be knocked out cold, laying down, knocked out cold. So the fourth one, and the most important one, which relates to strokes, is because low blood sugars can mimic a stroke. It can mimic droopiness on the face. It can mimic weakness on one or multiple limbs. It can mimic what what is it that we call it, like dysphagia, or difficulty speaking, or even, for example, if you ask a person who's having a stroke, what's the color of the sky? And they say pineapple. Even though they know the right answer, they become frustrated. You can see it in their face that they're trying to say the right word, but they don't know why they're not saying the correct word. So strokes and blood sugars almost tie hand in hand with their symptoms, and that's like the two top things that we look for. So make sure you go grab yourself a free copy. It's free if this is something you like to look into. If you want to feel more prepared, being around family, whether you're a caregiver for your parents living at home with you and you're taking care of them. And by the way, shout out to all you guys who do take care of your parents and your family members at home, because that is a lot of work, a lot of work. Same thing with you guys with kids. I got kids, and it's the same thing. It's the whole reason why I even got into paramedic school for myself. I went to EMT school, then I went to paramedic school. It's all so I can take care of my kids, and if a situation ever arrived where I was scared and I didn't know um, how to approach this, you know, it's a terrible feeling, and I know many of you guys have probably experienced this before. Whether or not you call 911, whether or not you call the nurse hotline, it feels like an eternity until help arrives, and you're just watching your child struggle with whatever it is. You know, I I personally couldn't stand around um, to find out. So that is my whole purpose in creating this ebook, is especially for all you guys who want to be able to help, but say you don't really have the time to go get medical training, anything like that. This ebook will give you the bare minimum basics that you need to know what can possibly cause this, what you can do to help the person, and what you can do to help the paramedics come in. So I hope you guys enjoy this live stream. Make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe if you got value out of this. If you enjoyed this, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. That way, the next time I go live, you guys will be notified, because that's how I've been doing. So take it easy, guys.